had this trailer hitch connector for quite a while. Here's your typical 7-pin here. Plugs in the back. On the bottom here I got a nice little 4-pin. You can get this stuff anywhere in any configuration you want. This can be on the side. It can do without this. It sat on this, basically hung down, and it was kind of sitting like this. For the longest time, that's about where it sat. Kind of eats up some of the clearance, and God forbid if I do anything off-road, even with a bumper protector that slides into the receiver here, this is probably going to get ripped off. So I've got a neat idea for this thing. This is the little locking bracket here. This will be the deployed position. This is what will basically fit up against the inside of that bumper area. This will be hanging down, and then off the bottom of that will sit this. And when I don't want it in this position, I want to swing it up out of the way. It'll basically sit something like this. This will be swung up, the plug will be in here. Of course, this will be centered, and the plug will be facing straight up and out of the way. This will give me plenty of clearance back there. And then when I want to deploy it, I can just basically bring this down, which locks it into place, use it, and again, this is the stow area. And that way it's no longer hanging down. So anyway, let's go ahead and see if I can't get this installed. I have some drilling and tapping to do. I'm going to be using some of these stainless steel screws here. And I'll basically drill and tap the holes and then put a little Loctite on there, so I don't have to worry about washers or anything else like I do the rest of the hardware here. So right now I need to get under the truck and drill and tap, and then we'll get this installed. Right, back into the truck. Got 1, 2, 3 holes drilled. This one's tapped. I'm tapping this one now. Actually went a little bit into this nut, but that's okay. That'll just give it more threads to hold on to. I'll tap this hole out here, check it with the screw, make sure it's good, and then the mounting portion should be done. And I just need to mount the plug to the actual bracket itself. Right now I have everything loosened up. That way I got plenty of cord to play with, and then I'll just reattach all this later. So let's finish getting this tapped out. Using some pop rivets, drilling out some holes, and using some of this silicone adhesive seal, which is pretty strong stuff, in the holes. I should prevent any type of rust in the future. I am going to throw some black paint on this stuff here just to hide it up a little bit, make it look a little nicer than it is. And it'll mount like this, and of course it'll fold up. So that part's done. I did also put a little bit of this, it's called Lexel. They sell this all over the place. You can get it on Amazon too. It's really, really tough stuff, tougher than regular RTV. So I actually have some, now let's see here, down in this area here between the two surfaces, just to add a little adhesive there also. So let me go ahead and get this touched up, and then really what's left is just mounting it in the truck. I'm actually going to use some of that stuff also in here, just to give a little bit more bonding when I go ahead and actually install this. So I'm going to have to go under the truck and clean that off with some alcohol, so that way it gets good adhesion. And then I just need to put it all back together. But that's pretty much it. It's coming underneath. So we had to use this a few times. This is good stuff to have around. Basically converts surface rust into a paintable surface. At the same time, it converts the rust, as long as you've got it all cleaned off, to metal, so you can paint over it and not worry about it rusting through. This is coming under. There's a couple stays to get the screws started, some Loctite. And again, I just went ahead and painted up the tops of this. Not necessarily for what it looks like. Don't really care. You're not going to be able to see it, but I don't want rust setting up. So it's just another place that we don't need bare metal. Okay, so it'll basically go on like this. So I'll go under there, and as soon as this dries just a little bit more, and then we'll get some Loctite on there and get this installed. Get the plug back on. Use some cable ties to tie up the wiring harness. And I'll let you guys see what's going on. Okay, so after releasing this lever here by pulling down on it, this will basically just slide up, locks into place. The plug will be up out of the way. When I want to use it, just pull this down, snap it into place, and the plug will be ready to go. At least it's no longer hanging down permanently, and at the same time, it doesn't take away from any of my clearance that I have. So let's get the plug on there, get this on and get the wiring kind of cleaned up here, and I'll show you guys the finished product. Get this all tidied up, get the tie wraps, and then here's the unit. So this is the way it'll sit anytime I'm driving it, not using the trailer. And when I want the trailer, I'll just reach underneath, pull this down, snap it into place, and that's it. There's a little catch up here that you have to pull and release in order to get this to go up. I have it where this bumper actually goes right in between the two. It's got plenty of room to get that open and get the plug in. So when you're done, you just basically, I need 2 hands for this. So let's see if I can use my leg. So you just push this down, lift up, and that's it. It's out of the way. So no more having the darn plug eat up all my ground clearance later on to protect this. If I go into anything that's steep for ascent and descent, I can take out this step here, and there's a guard that I'm going to get that's armor that'll protect all this and definitely give me plenty of room for this. So that's it. I've been thinking about how I could basically do this, and this comes with a package of 2 or 4, whatever you want to get. I only needed 1. We got some stainless steel. Again, we have the Lennox in there that basically is a really strong adhesive sealant. We have things cleaned up with paint, and that's it. Anytime you put something on, I always use Loctite. So there's the 4-pin, and there's the 7-pin, and that's how it'll basically stay. I'm pretty happy about this. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. So basically, if you have a trailer hitch and you got the wiring plug, it doesn't always have to be hanging down. You can basically come up with something like this yourself, either the way I did it or any other type of bracket you want to use. So I'll get this on YouTube, and you guys can tell me what you think.